Cheers, what it is and what it ain't. It's yours truly, Liquid Cash. I need it all out the stash. And listen, you're now locked into Mindset Mogul Book Club. I appreciate y'all for being here. Listen, today's book of the week is a good one, man. I can't wait for y'all to check this one out. You dig? Y'all definitely need this in your book list. It's a classic. It's See You at the Top by yours truly, Zig Ziglar. Yeah, we ain't wasting no time, man. We're going to get right into it, man. I got to let y'all know about this book, man. See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. It's a classic book. It's a great book for the novice. If you're a novice and you haven't, been reading much throughout your life and you're just trying to get a better understanding of the world, you're trying to get a better understanding of your mind, this is one of these great books that you definitely need to check out, because it's easy to read, it's very informative, and it's going to give you the jewels that you can use in your day-to-day life. And if you apply it today, I guarantee this is going to change your life in a major way. And he said something that I felt like was very profound in this book. He said, a person that won't read is no different from a person that can't read. And when he said that statement in this book, I was like, that's gospel. That's the truth. That's the God honest truth. Because, the person that can't read, at least they got an excuse on why they haven't picked up a book, throughout their life, and they don't know certain information because they're not privy to the information because they can't read. But a person that won't read but could read, it's damn near the same, or maybe even worse, because you have the capability to pick up a book, read a certain passage, and get some information, but you decide not to for whatever reason because you're too busy with life. Not understanding that all the questions that goes unanswered in your mind is in a book. You dig? But you didn't slow down long enough to pick a book up to go, search and look for the information. You keep on bothering God and it's just complaining to God about your life and how your circumstances, and you wasn't, raised right, and your mother wasn't there, your father wasn't there, you was raised in poverty, and you start complaining, and that's all you want to do is complain to God every day. But the information is out there. All the answers you looking for is in a book. You just got to pick one up. You dig? And this is a great book for you to pick up, man. This right here is a great book for you to pick up. I definitely want y'all to get a good look at this book, get a great look at it. It's a great book to pick up because, like I said again, it's very informative, and it's going to give you that news you can use, man. It's always dropping jewels. And some of the things I feel that you will get from this book that I pointed out, that I wrote down on my notes, is going to talk about depth of vision. It's going to touch on depth of vision, which is very important, you dig? And it gives a great, illustration of that by using a graph of a box, and 16 squares are in this particular box. And it gives you, like I said again, a great illustration of, things ain't always what it seems. And there's always more than what it is. You dig? It's always a little bit more. You can't just see things for, eyesight. Sometimes you got to look beyond the surface. And that's how most wealthy people become wealthy. They have depth of vision. Kind of like when you watch The Simpsons or you watch Boondocks, and they predict certain things, like seeing Trump as the president in The Simpsons, years before he's even president or even thought about being president, you dig? And that's because those people have depth of vision, you dig? Like certain cartoons just show certain things in the future sense, and you like, damn, how did they predicted that? That's because they use a tool that we all definitely have the privilege to use, and which is depth of vision. So you have to look beyond the surface. A picture doesn't just says 1,000 words. It says 10,000 words. You dig? You dig? A picture really says 10,000 words. It's more than what it is, and you can definitely use depth of vision to achieve a lot of things that you want in your life. And another thing that it talked about or touched on in this particular book is this. Is basically touched on, why it's important to write your ideas down. It's very important to write your ideas down, and it touched on that because, when you write it down, it makes it real. You dig? If you can't write your ideas down and really describe it, and in a few sentences, you basically, you probably never will accomplish that particular goal. You got to be able to describe your ideas and your goals, and you got to be able to put it in writing, and that's how most of the people operate on a high level. They're able to put their ideas and their thoughts and write it down, and they can bring and present their particular things that they're trying to accomplish in a presentation. You dig? They can do that with ease because they understand. They have depth of vision. They can see their goals being accomplished already. It's just the space in between, where you're at now and you actually accomplishing that particular goal. It's just this little space in between. But if the image is already accomplished in your mind, and you can really map it out in the mind by using, your imagination, then, that goal is already signed and sealed. It's just only a matter of time. That's it. It's already signed and sealed. You already put the order in. It's like going to a restaurant, man. As soon as you sit down and you look at the menu, you already know what you want to eat. And once you put that order in, you're going to receive what you want because you had enough common sense to say, okay, I want basically the steak and eggs. It's the same thing when you writing down your goals, man. You putting that order into God and letting him know, man, I want this and not that. You dig? So it's very important. He touched on that. Writing down your ideas. You have to write down your ideas. Also, he touched on the fact that you got to know that it's 15 ways to improve your self-image. You dig? He wrote 15 ways to improve your self-image. And self-image is very important because a lot of times, when we don't have a good self-image, we take whatever the world offers us. You dig? And when you operating in that particular mind frame, you're never going to get the best that you deserve. You dig? Or the best the best of life, because you have a poor self-image. You don't think highly of yourself. You're not really that confident. And I always used to wonder when I go to certain parties or events or clubs with my homeboys, and I see them talking to the girl in the corner that's, not really attractive, and I'd be like, why are you talking to her? You know what I mean? And I come to realize they have a poor self-image. They talk to the girl. They talk to basically low-hanging fruit. They feel like, okay, I can get her with ease. She's not going to give me a headache. It's not going to be a struggle to get her to give me her attention. It's going to be easy for me to knock this one down, or it's going to be easy for me to get a number because she's not that attractive. And the fact that I'm talking to her is going to, light up her day, and she's going to definitely comply by giving me her number and possibly giving me more. And that's a mindset that I just didn't understand at the time until I really looked at it, and I looked at it for what it was. They had a poor self-image of themselves, you dig? See, I didn't relate to that because I had a high self-image of myself. I'm always looking for the best. I'm always going after the best. I want to be eating the best food. I want to drive the best car. I want to wear the best clothes. That's just because I have a high self-image of myself, you dig? I want the best for myself. And, believe it or not, most people do not want the best for themselves. They just want just enough, you dig? And they just want to be, comfortable with what they're able to do. And that's cool, but this book is going to give you 15 ways to have, to improve your self-image. And like I say, a lot of times, people may want to have a successful life and drive the car they want or live in a particular location they want to live at, but you have to envision yourself being in that place. And if you have a poor self-image, you can't see yourself having a Rolls Royce. You can't see yourself having a mansion. You can't see yourself having a private jet because you have a poor self-image based on your environment. You only can see as far as you can throw. You only can see as far as your four walls. You only can see as far as your environment. You dig? That's why it's important to read, because once you start to read more, you get to see things. You get to use your imagination. You get to see things in a different viewpoint, in a different way. You dig? And and in the process of that, you discover new words that you never heard before, and your vocabulary starts to get greater and greater. And then your imagination, like I said, expands. You dig? You only can see as far as, like I said, what you know. So once you read more, you use more of your imagination, you start to acquire more information, and before you know it, it's a wrap. You dig? You want a spaceship now. You don't even want a private jet. You're looking to get a spaceship because that's how far you can see. You dig? And you understand that anything is possible. I'm gonna read a quick little, sentence out of this book, something that I jot down that I figured that y'all would find to be intriguing, and that was intriguing to me as well. You dig? He said, this is page 110 of the book. See you at the top, right? He said, worry is a misuse of the imagination. A lot of us worry. We're going to stop right there because a lot of us do a lot of worrying. You dig? A lot of us do a lot of worrying, and it's a misuse of the imagination, because to worry about something is to actually be thinking about what you don't want to happen. You dig? Anytime somebody is worrying about something, I can guarantee you they're thinking about what they don't want to happen. And that's a misuse of the imagination because, see, you're using the imagination unconsciously. So you've been very, very, what's the word? You've been very intelligent, if I can use this in this particular way. You're good. Basically, you're good at worrying about the negative. You're good at worrying about things you don't want to happen. I always preach you have to focus on the things you want, and that's it. You have to only worry about the things you want. You don't even want to worry about them. You just want to know that they're going to come into your existence if you have a right thought process towards accomplishing that particular goal. If you're thinking positive and you're feeling positive and you're feeling joyful and you're feeling blissful, you will receive the things you want. And especially if you're working towards achieving that goal, you dig? You would definitely receive that goal in rapid speed. You dig? You'll see exponential results. You dig? So make sure that you don't misuse your imagination by worrying about the things you do not want in your life. You dig? Now let's follow through with the reading. Also, he spoke on God will mend even a broken heart if we give him all the pieces. Don't be an if thinker. Be a how thinker. You dig? I'm going to say that again. Don't be an if thinker. Be a how thinker. Most people like to focus on what if. What if this don't work out? What if that don't work out? You dig? What if this happened? What if that happens? You dig? Like I said again, you're a genius when it comes to thinking about the negative things that can transpire to block you from achieving a particular goal. You dig? You're brilliant at that. You don't want to be thinking about the what ifs. We don't deal with the what ifs. We deal with what is. And what is that I want this and I want that, and this is how I'm going to get it. You dig? So you want to, and he, like I said again, he touched on, you want to be a how thinker. And to be honest with you, when you dive deep into it, you realize God is in control of a lot of these things that's happening outside of our radar screen, right? Things that we can't see. So you don't even want to worry about the how. You dig? You want to worry about what you want to worry about what you want. And like I said again, I don't even want to use the word worry about. You want to think about what you want. You dig? You don't want to bother yourself thinking about how it's going to happen, because you don't know how it's going to happen. It's off your radar screen. You're not that intelligent. You're not that smart. You dig? How it's going to happen doesn't concern you. All you got to know is what you want to order. Put the order in. That's it. Don't worry about how the chef is going to prepare the dish. Don't worry about what seasoning he's going to use. Don't worry about who's in the back there cooking with him. You dig? The only thing you need to think about is what you want to order. Put in the order. That's it. All you got to do is put in the order. A lot of us spend so much time trying to figure out how we're going to accomplish the things we want, and we start to spiral downward and put ourselves in a negative state of mind because we can't come up, or we can't fathom the idea of actually accomplishing that particular thing because we're behind on our bills, we don't have no money, and we're thinking in our mind, how is it possibly going to happen? I don't got no bread. How am I actually going to fulfill this particular goal or this particular thing? You dig? You're worrying about the how. Don't worry about the how. Worry about the goal and the things that you want. So that's why it's important to read. See, when you're reading, you're not taking everything as face value. You're using discernment while you read. So ask God to give you discernment before you pick up a book and read it, so you can, go through the book and not just take everything as face value. Because like I said again, he said you don't want to be an if thinker, you want to be a how thinker, which is a good way to think, right? You want to think about the how. But like I said again, you don't want to worry about the how, man. And in his book, he's telling the reader to think about the how. And I'm telling you, do not think about the how. See, I'm using discernment. I'm not just taking what he's saying and applying everything. I'm using my own knowledge that I have. And I'm looking at what he wrote. I'm taking it in consideration. But I'm also knowing that, okay, that's cool, but there's a better way of doing it. And that's only thinking about the goal, and don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just know it's going to happen and then move towards it. Because the how will put you in a trick bag. And like I said, again, you'll be worrying about, how you're going to make it happen. And then it won't happen. You feel me? So also, he mentioned in this book, joy adds and multiplies as you divide it with others. I'm going to say that again because that's powerful. Joy adds and multiplies as you divide it with others. And that's basically saying the more positive energy you give out, the more joyful you are to, every day. And the more good energy, like I said, again, you spread amongst your friends, family, the more of that you get back in return. You dig? We all know energy is never lost. It just transfers from one person to the next. So that's why we don't wish nobody death. We don't wish bad on nobody else, because anything you wish on someone else, you will get that energy back in return in a different form, in a different situation, different circumstances. So don't think any of that energy is lost. It's trust me, you'll get it back in return. So you always want to give recognition. You want to give people their props. You want to show them love. You want to let them know that how much you care about them. You want to let them know that you got nothing but love for them. You riding with them whether they're wrong or right. You down for them, for the people that you care about and you love. So, and even people that you don't know, you know what I mean? You just always want to give them praises. You dig? When somebody accomplished something, you want to clap and you want to, you dig? Give them that rewarding feeling. You dig? You definitely want to do that all the time, because like I said again, you give it out, you're going to get it back in return. So show love, you dig? Because it definitely multiplies. You dig? Long as you can divide it with other people, it'll definitely multiply in your life. So like I said, this book is very informative. I can flip through any page in this book, and there's going to be some jewels in here that you can use, man. I read this book up and down. This is a book that you don't just read once, you read a few times, you dig? That's the good thing about these particular books, man. And if you haven't seen any of Zig Ziglar live performances, man, he's definitely somebody you definitely want to go check out. His live performances is dope, you dig? So y'all definitely do some Googles and check out his YouTube videos. He's passed away now, rest in peace to Zig Ziglar, but he has a lot. He's one of the forefathers when it comes to, being a mindset coach, a motivational speaker, to being somebody that just has a lot of wisdom, education, and, just experiences in life. And I definitely recommend that y'all tap into him, because he's definitely one of my teachers, one of my mentors that I looked up to. So, yeah, this book is very informative. Like I said, I can go through this book and I can highlight, I got so much highlights in here. I'll read something else. I said, how you get up in the morning will play a big part in how high in life you go, right? Basically, how you get up in the morning will determine a big part of how up in life you go. So when you wake up and you get up in the morning, some of us jump on our phone or talk to somebody that has negative vibrations, and then we go throughout the day feeling negative, or we feel like we got a weight on our shoulder. Somebody, said something that kind of pissed us off and annoyed us. So now we going throughout the day with that negative energy. So it's very important to wake up in the morning feeling blissful, feeling joyful, feeling happy, and being thankful for the day. You dig? When I wake up in the morning, I thank my spiritual helpers that day. I'm up. I thank my God first. First and foremost, I thank God that I'm up. But I let my spiritual helpers know that I'm up as well, and they need to get to work. You dig? We all assign people to, I think that's a whole nother different topic. I'm not gonna get in there. When I say spiritual helpers, some of y'all know what I mean. Some of y'all don't know what I mean. You dig? I believe that we all spiritual beings having a human experience, and I believe our ancestors are not dead. They're definitely around us right now, watching over us and protecting us. They are the people that I call spiritual helpers. You dig? Our forefathers, our ancestors, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers, our great-grandmothers, and everybody that you love that passed on, they're still here. You dig? We just got to tap into their energy and let them know that we know they're still here. We just, like I said again, we're just spiritual beings having a human experience. Once the flesh is gone, the spirit still remains. So you got to tap into your spiritual helpers, the people that you love that pass on and transition to the next realm. Like I said again, the magic is happening behind the scenes, off the radar screen, something that you're not going to know how it's going to happen, because all the great things that happen in your life, trust me, you couldn't picture that you would be in that position or that it would happen the way it did, because it happened in such a phenomenal way that you can't put a finger on it and how it got done, but it got done. You dig? Even where you at right now in your life, you had help along the way. Your spiritual helpers is watching. God is watching. Your spiritual helpers is watching. People are watching you as you move through this life. Don't think it's just you out here on your own and nobody got their eyes on you. You dig? Like I said again, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. This is what I believe. You might not believe that. That might not be your ideology. You might believe you're just flesh and bones, and that's it. You might believe that once you die, that's it. It's the end of your story. That's cool. Your belief is what you believe in. You know what I mean? And you could be actually right. I could be wrong, you could be right. Or there could be two people that's right. I could be right and you could be right. You feel me? That nobody can be wrong at all. But I just choose to believe that I'm a spiritual being that's having a human experience. And because I believe that, matter of fact, I don't put my faith in belief. I put my faith in knowing, because belief is laced with doubt. So I don't believe that I know that. You dig? And this is what keeps me going, because I understand, like I said again, there's things that's happening beyond the veil, beyond my thinking. You dig? Beyond your thinking. And we have to know that we have access to this power, and we have to utilize it to the best of our ability. So wake up in the morning, ready for the day and ready to accomplish and take care of your business. And wake up joyful, wake up happy, wake up in the right state of mind, and everything gonna be fine, man. Listen, like I said again, I appreciate y'all for signing up to the Mindset Mogul Book Club. See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar, a great book. I advise y'all to get this right now. My new book is on the way. I'm getting the CD, not the CD cover. I'm about to say the CD cover because I got a new project out called Private City. But the book cover is getting designed right now as we speak. And the book is going to be great, man. It's going to be a dope-ass book. I can't wait till y'all read it, man. I definitely put my blood, sweat, and tears in it. Put a lot of energy in my new book. It's called Tips on Relationship, The Naked Truth About a Beautiful Lie. You feel me? Hey, man, I ain't trying to tell you what to think. I'm trying to teach you how to think, you dig? I appreciate y'all for signing up to my book club again. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. Sign up and also get this book and look out for my book when it drop, all right? It's yours truly, Liquid Cash. Cheers. All my life I heard the expressions, you gotta fake it to make it. But I never really subscribed to that concept because I believe you gotta think it to make it. See, whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe, it can achieve. Change your mind and you can change your life. Take a whiff from the I'm the black Richie Rich. Do it all on my own. I ain't never need a cause it's all in the wrist. She in love with the sniff. I'm in love with the bricks. Like I'm short, like I'm thick. Make a bust like the rhyme. Only hit it one time.